Hello, welcome to 7-Minute Chemistry. Today we will be talking about significant figures. As you can see, I'm surrounded by numbers. I'm so claustrophobic. I'm just kidding. Okay, anyway, let's get serious. So rule number 1. All non-zero digits are significant. So what does that mean? All digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all those digits which are not zero, they are considered significant. So the values, the digits 1 through 9 are significant at all times, whether there is a decimal or there isn't a decimal present. So, example number 1. I have 2, 7, 6, 5, decimal. Rule number 1 says all non-zero digits are significant. Therefore, these are all non-zeros. Therefore, there is 4 sig figs. Okay. No decimal present. It doesn't matter. All non-zero digits are significant, whether there is a decimal or there isn't a decimal present. So therefore, I have a 2, 7, 6, and a 5 again. Doesn't matter that there isn't a decimal. This is 4 sig figs. Example number 2, or rule number 2. All zeros contained or trapped between 2 non-zero digits, meaning between a 1 through a 9, are significant. Okay, so whether there is a decimal or there is not a decimal present. So, based on that definition, these zeros are trapped between the 2 and the 3. The 2 and the 3 are non-zero digits. So therefore, these zeros are significant. Those count. Then going back to rule number 1, the 2 and the 3, they're non-zero digits, therefore they are significant. So here there's 4. Okay? Here I have the same value but without the decimal. It doesn't matter. The zeros contained between 2 non-zero digits are significant. So these 2 are significant. Those zeros are significant. The 2 and the 3 are non-zero digits. That goes back to rule number 1. They are always significant. Therefore, this has 4 sig figs. Okay, rule number 3. Trailing zeros are only significant, meaning zeros at the end of a value, are only significant if there is a decimal present. If there isn't a decimal present, they're not significant. We don't care. So, I have 217.0. Rule number 1, all non-zero digits are significant. Therefore, the 217, they're good. They're significant. Trailing zeros are only significant. Trailing zeros, remember, zeros at the end of a value are significant if there is a decimal present. There is a decimal present. The 0 is at the end. Therefore, it is significant. So therefore, there's 4 sig figs. Here, there is no decimal. So I have my trailing 0 right here. Okay? And there is no decimal. Therefore, this is not significant because there is no decimal. However, the 2, 1, and 7, that goes back to rule number 1, all non-zero digits are significant. Therefore, this has 3 sig figs. Okay, rule number 4. All leading or preceding zeros are not significant, whether there is a decimal or there isn't a decimal present. All leading zeros are not significant. Doesn't matter if there's a decimal or no decimal. So here, these zeros precede numbers, actual numbers. I have a decimal, but who cares? These zeros are not significant. No good, not significant. However, all non-zero digits are. So therefore, these guys check out. Those are significant, these are not, these zeros, because they're leading. So therefore, this value has 2 significant figures. Once again, doesn't matter whether there is a decimal present or not. The preceding zeros or the leading zeros are not significant. Therefore, these guys don't count. The 5 and the 2, however, we go back to rule number 1. This should be getting kind of repetitive by now. We go back to rule number 1. The 5 and the 2, they are non-zero digits. Therefore, they are significant. So these 2 check out. So therefore, this value has 2. Okay. My last example is an example that should tie together all of these concepts. Okay. So here, let's look at this number first. I'm going to apply rule number 1. All non-zero digits are significant. Therefore, all non-zero digits in this number are the 1, the 7, the 5, and the 1. They're all non-zeros. Therefore, I have at least 4 significant figures. At least. Now, let's analyze the zeros. Here I have a 0 caught in between 2 non-zero digits. Going back to rule number 2, it says those zeros are significant, whether there is a decimal or not. So therefore, this 0 is significant. How about these zeros? Well, those zeros are also contained within the 5 and the 1. Even though there is a decimal present here, remember, that doesn't matter. Therefore, these zeros are significant. They're trapped between 2 non-zero digits. They're trapped between the 5 and the 1. So they check out. Okay? So that's at least another 3. Lastly, that 0, that's a trailing 0. Going back to rule number 3, says that trailing zeros are significant only if there is a decimal present. Oh, I have a decimal, therefore that 0 is significant. So therefore, I have a total of 8 sig figs in this problem. Over here, same rules apply. Rule number 1, all non-zero digits are significant. So the 1, the 7, the 5, and the 1 are significant. I have at least 4. Then I have a 0 caught in between 2 non-zero digits. Rule number 2 says that that is significant. And here I have the same thing. 2 zeros caught in between 2 non-zero digits, the 5 and the 1. Therefore, they are significant. So that 0, this 0, and that 0 are significant. So I have at least 3. Then, lastly, that's a trailing 0. But there is no decimal present. According to rule number 3, those zeros do not count. They are not significant. So therefore, this guy does not work out. So therefore, it's just 4 plus 3. It should be 7 significant figures.